Hey guys, just getting back online, trying to do a video of this self-driving progression. Kind of give it a few weeks and see how it's performing. The news of the day is that version 11.3.1 with the updates necessary to address that I guess the recall they had a few weeks back, along with the combination of the stacks to be highway and streets, city streets to be all in vision. It's now finally moved from employee deployment to early adopter beta program deployment. So there's a few people getting it today. I'm hoping to have it by the weekend. That's kind of been the cadence. They'll do employees, then they'll do early beta testers, and then along with the general public start to move that out, and that happens within like a week after the beta testers. So thinking maybe Friday, Saturday, so that'd be pretty cool. Exciting to see it all combined and all the additional upgrades and improvements made with that. Seems like there's a lot more visual effects as well as visual cues of what's happening, some improvements on the lights, stop signs and stoplights, and how it progresses through those intersections. So should be good. Look forward to it. And it's just like a beautiful day here in Jacksonville. You know, I'm on the side that, you know, we're definitely as a human race kind of destroying the earth and it's kind of coming to a culmination. And just like anything, before the storm there's always like this period of quiet, calm, seems like nothing's happening before it like just, you know, gets you all settled in and then it suddenly just blows up on you. So I was thinking about that today, just like thinking about the West Coast, how they're going through this severe kind of weather situation between dry, wet, and now like extreme colds with heavy precipitation with hail and snow. Just mounds and mounds of snow just falling, dumping on the West Coast or west region of the states. And you know, because of that, we're also getting that stream of cold air coming over to the east all the way down here to Florida. And because, you know, Florida's already typically hot, it just like mellows it out, giving us a nice little air conditioning essentially for the next few days. And from like this week where it was down, it was hitting close to 90 degrees here the early parts of March, warmer than typical a little bit, but immediately like just backed away, and now we're like sitting at just a little bit above the 70, or actually 69 degrees right now. That's incredible. It is like pristine weather to be outside. Always puts me in a great mood. Sun's shining, sky's completely blue, you know, outside of the backdrop of the macro effects of the weather situation and the overall climate, or I should say the climate, not the weather. But yeah, gotta enjoy the moment. Never know what tomorrow's gonna bring. Could be complete catastrophe, but at least we have today, and make the most of it. Be an optimist until the end. Optimist until the end, and hopefully that optimism carries us further, so there is no end. Because there's lots of solutions out there. You know, I follow this guy on Twitter, and I just love it because he just constantly posts things about these solutions across the world that are being implemented that can solve a lot of the problems we're having. I mean, it's a bigger issue than on the surface, but there's still many things we can do, because I mean, we're not going to replace petroleum and oil products tomorrow. They're just too pervasive. It's in our lives in every single way, but there's a lot of things we can do, and just generally in the energy we use on a day-to-day basis for our lives, you know, home cooling and heating, transportation, devices, equipment, stuff like that. You know, there's just so much there, and I'm really hoping this year, going to the mid-year here, through the end of the year, try to work on some solutions around myself. I've been looking at and wanting to get more self-sufficient in my own home base. So, you know, started with the car. I'd like to get solar on the house, get a battery pack, you know, and I'd like to mix it between solar and wind. But I'd like to get into that shortly. It's also just life and a lot of things keeping me busy. Like looking at Twitter at least 30 minutes a day on average. Speaking of Twitter and things, looking at Twitter 30 minutes on average a day, that whole thing between Elon Musk and the individual from Iceland, I gotta give it up for the guy from Iceland. That was quite a display of brilliance on his part as far as how he kind of pulled Elon into this conversation on Twitter and just trolled him to death. I think even Elon, if he, given, I don't know him personally, obviously, but if he is like who I would hope he is, he can kind of admire the situation even after like he took the hit. But I also give it up to Elon. I mean, I don't know if you can be very skeptical, or you can be cynical about the situation, say he's only apologizing because he's been put in a hard spot and he doesn't want to pay the money that he may owe this individual for the contract he has with Twitter organization. But I think I've seen many occasions where Elon, he gets into situations where his own faults, he makes mistakes, but he's able to quickly come to terms that he's made a mistake and course correct, make his apologies and make the corrections or amends he needs to move forward on. I think that's really missing. I mean, the one thing I really have a hard time with things that are going on, personalities around me, as well as just personalities I see from secondary and tertiary type interactions, is that people are just too hard on one another. They just forgot the fact that, like, going through my life early on, especially, like, making mistakes was seen as a what is it, like a power move. It was seen as if you could make mistakes and grow from it, that was seen as something beneficial and admired. You want to be able to allow for mistakes, because if you're not making mistakes, that means you're not trying things. You don't have to be an idiot and just constantly making mistakes, but if you're making mistakes and there was good intentions, or it was an honest mistake, and you were able to make the correction or grow from that mistake, learn something from it, and in order to improve and try to avoid making similar situations occur in the future, that's great. I mean, it happens. Otherwise, you're just playing it too safe, right? Because life is honestly too short. We're on this planet for like a speckle of time, and if you just sit around just being worried about making mistakes, then you're not living anything. You're not allowing yourself to really explore all the parameters and all the boundaries of what's available to you, and that comes with mistakes. Trying things will lead to mistakes, and so first of all, kudos to that guy in Iceland. I totally admire his situation. He's obviously an individual that's dealt with a lot of adversity and has like an amazing attitude and overall just disposition on life. As well as look at this. He's been able to be hugely successful in the terms we all measure ourselves, typically, wealth, influence, productivity even. But yeah, the latter part is even more important. Like, he's super productive in his life, and he's been crippled both by his legs and recently in his arms, being mostly confined to a chair. And yet, he does great things day to day, has a great attitude, is a super great sense of humor, amazing wit and ability to really create a situation that's still fun, entertaining, but also is able to get a point across and meet an objective that he had. He was able to find this situation where he was not getting any sort of traction or resolution through the normal means of going through his non-existent HR department at Twitter, and find a creative and interesting path to a solution. He got the attention of who he needed to, put them on the spot in a way that they, basically, demonstrated their own personal weaknesses and where they should grow, or Elon needs to have some growth in, and that could be tied to other things, and then get a fantastic resolution. He basically had his job offered back to him. He had a public apology. He was able to build a larger fan base and just build his influence, and demonstrate to the world the optimism that everyone should have, even in the most dire and difficult situations. Not saying it's easy, but it gives you inspiration. Man, I definitely, I've always wanted to go to Iceland. If I do go there, I would love to visit the guy's restaurant that he's planning, and if he's around, be able to give him a high five. Well done, man. So, yeah, on both ends, I think, it all shows humans can be great if allowed to. Grace is underappreciated. We just need to be kinder and more open to each other. mean, we're all valuable. Yeah, I mean, it really gets to me because I have a lot of things that I'm working on myself, and that means a lot. It's home. Anyways, I had a really good workout. I was glad I got to the gym. I missed it yesterday, and I had some really good runs recently on the weekends. Got a goal to try to get my 1 mile, get like 1 mile under 8 minutes. Was almost there this past Saturday. Was able to get it to 8:00. I think I got a mile in 8:04, 8:02, and felt good. So gonna head home. I've got a number of things to get on. I got this house that I own that I need to go walk through, just at least end it on it, and I want to like get it ready to actually put on the market for sale. Trying to shore up some capital to purchase something else or more for my personal needs or desires. Been wanting to get closer to the ocean, to the water, so looking to find an opportunity to do that. So this will be one step towards that. All right, man, this is great. This drive has been fantastic. Has some of the similar things that it continues to do as far as slow down these certain intersections, but was able to take that drive, and we're heading in. Only a few, like less than a quarter mile towards home base, and we'll call it a solid drive. Look forward to getting version 11.3.1. See how that all works out. It's always going to be a little cautious. You just gotta let it go and understand this car is going to do its best to keep you safe and drive. Like, this was a little bit awkward. It's kind of slowing down, but it's kind of seeing a lot of parameters it's trying to assess, and then it moves on. What a beautiful day. What should we do? It almost makes it hard to like focus on work, Here we go. We're coming around this roundabout today. It doesn't always take this way. For some reason, it does it always in this mid-morning time frame. It's gonna go right this time. That's interesting because it usually goes straight. And yesterday I took over and went right because I find this to be a little quicker. And it seems like it adopted that. Or where is it going? What are you doing? Did I ever put? You know what? I never put where we're going. That's fun. That's just interesting though. I mean, it's still, even if I don't think I've done that before, I forgot to place where I'm going, and it just went ahead and started going where I would typically go out of the gym. It makes that assumption. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of a tour around town. As we're driving through here, I live in this area currently called San Marco here in Jacksonville. It's a historic neighborhood. Been here. It used to be an old. Kind of started out as a. What is it? The history of it. I have it somewhere. It's got a nice history, but it's grown up to be a quite little neighborhood. Great walkability, and it has a number of great little spots that have come up. One of our spots we like to get a treat from is called this place called Good Dough. I do have also, I've converted a couple of places that have rentals into Airbnbs, and if ever someone is kind of doing something nice or things are going well, they have a longer stay or something, I typically go to Good Dough and pick up a few donuts as a kind of a treat or welcoming in. So I had some people coming in, they're moving to Jacksonville again. Dropped off some of those yesterday, as well as someone that's staying for a little over a month, visiting their son, and dropped that off because they were nice enough to share some time to allow me to show the place to another person that was looking to stay longer term. They want to check the place out. But yeah, Good Dough's solid. This place, Dream It, has been a kind of a institution here in Jacksonville. Started, I guess their first place is over there in Murray Hills. Been here for like over 50 years, maybe 60 plus years. They've recently over the year expanded to two new locations, one here in San Marco, one over in Springfield, which is my other favorite neighborhood. Fantastic historic neighborhood called Springfield. Super walkable. It's just kind of getting going though. It's behind its paces on more of these more established historic neighborhoods, Avondale, Riverside, San Marco, but I think its upside is just much greater across the board. As far as where it can go, it's got a great vibe. I love the diversity and just the general people in that area that's gravitated towards it. Hopefully it maintains that culture have a difference, you know. All right, that's it. Done and done. We'll catch you later. Fun hanging out again.